Okay, gang. Okay. Is Ken Knuckles in the house? Okay, we got to move this
start,
one out.
guys. I'm getting out the way. Everybody ready?
Jeff,
All right, let's
Jeff?
get set up.
Jeff, do you have a tape recorder for us?
Yeah, we're good.
Jeff, could you try to get people who keep the noise down for us?
We probably should clear the room first so we can hear you.
Hey, my buddy.
Can I have everybody's attention, please? I need total silence.
Well,
Not
ask
going
those
to
who
the
are not a
eighth
part
floor.
of the press
I
conference
need
to leave.
total silence in this room. Please work with us. Thank you.
Well, we'll get you later.
Is everybody ready?
Let me be very brief because I know that some of you have been waiting a long time to ask questions, and that's why I'm here for it. Now, I do intend to have a broader press conference. As most of you know, there was very little that I and others could say while the state and the courts tried to figure out what the lines were going to be. Actually, one of the main reasons why I did not hesitate to run for re-election is because I really thought that I could make a difference, as I have in past reapportionments. But seeing what happened in the state legislatures, and then recognize that the federal courts made no bones about the fact that our GIs were going to vote in this election, then I not only didn't make the impression in terms of where I hoped the district would go, but so many people felt so much political and personal pain. And right now we're still going through that period of time and making the adjustments, which of course have existed for over 40 years. For old-timers like Herb Boyd, he remembered when we used to fight and the political blood rolled in the street. But for 40 years, we haven't had that. And the next years, for those that follow me, they have to be working hard to rebuild our city and our state. As it relates to the president, I do believe that this is an historic period for all of us, and even more so for those in Harlem. Harlem is more than just the Black Mecca for entertainers and history and wonderful historic stories. Harlem is representative of what people who have the pride and the energy want to be. And so therefore, every community has a little bit of Harlem. And I intend to be working hard with the local officials that have been really a family, a real, true political family here, with the city council people led by Betty Dickens, with Keith Wright leading the state legislature. And we got to pick up the pieces where people have been politically disappointed, but we have to move forward, not just for us, but certainly for our kids. In terms of the campaign, well, I guess if you really want to set out as to what you think is wrong with government and you have a case to be made, then every 2 years, that's what the elections are all about. I certainly have to be sympathetic to any person or group of people that believe that their particular culture, language, or background should be in the Congress, in the city council. And I've always supported that because that's what America is all about. I'm pleased to see we're going to have an Asian American join us in the Congress soon from New York. And so these things, it's really premature to talk about any personalities. I don't think anybody has said anything that's unpleasant. And I am convinced that when the final decisions are being made, judges for most of the candidates that I've heard, that they have a concern about the welfare of our community and our city and not just political ambitions. So, I know you used to be someone important.
Congressman, can we ask you though, on the campaign, some people see this as the first time that you have a pretty strong opponent in the form of Adriano Espaillat. Is that a fair assessment? Or not?
Yes, it is.
You think he's pretty strong?
I think he's pretty strong.
What do you think of him as a candidate?
He's a good man. He's done a lot of good work for the community.
But you have any fear at all about possibly losing on June 26th, or what are your thoughts about June 26th?
It's been so long since I've lost that we have to talk better, you know. But listen, this is what America is all about. And you have to have qualified candidates out there. And you need wannabes too, so that they can set an example and say, don't give up on government. So no matter whether it's Miss Johnson or Dennis, what's his name? Dennis? Well, the names are Clyde Williams. This is a place that everybody should want to say, I once ran for Congress in Harlem. And I mean that. You know, I wasn't exactly drafted.
How are you feeling? Are you worried that your back problems will keep you from campaigning as vigorously as you normally do?
No, I'll be out there. They have their own timetable, and they had this darn thing that was supposed to basically be over. What it is and non-scientific, I've never had a backache in my life. But if you're not nice to me, I'll put you on a list and wish you one, because what happened was that at a certain age, all of us have the cartridge that separates the spinal disc, and they wear out. Well, I had no idea and had no pain that was coming from that, but one of the viruses found out it was vulnerable, and bang, it went in there, and we thought we had gotten it all out. We went back, and so now I'm beaten up on by antibiotics. But no, there's a date certain that I'll be up and around and enjoying the campaign.
Congressman, we've had you so many times in our studios, and you're always on time or really early. So we were concerned this morning. You were an hour late. Can you tell us what happened? And because many of us were wondering, is he okay? He's running late.
Well, I appreciate your compassion, but to say that after 40 years, a congressman running an hour late, I don't think that's going to be key, really, in the direction that we have to go. I really don't. But I'm glad about your concern about, you know, my punctuality and the health and whatnot. But if you have any medical questions, I'd like to deal with it.
Congressman, a lot of black leaders I talk to, they're confident that you'll be able to win this seat again this
Well,
year.
Manny Sella was in the well of the Congress, and when he lost to Elizabeth Holtzman, and everyone said, Manny, what was the problem? How did you lose? He says, the problem was everyone said I had no problem. So you really cannot take any election for
let me ask, but beyond that, but what they say, when they look down the road, you know, when the day that Charlie Rangel is no longer representing this district, some of them express concern as to whether there's going to be a black candidate who's going to be able to represent a district that includes most, if not all, of Harlem. How would you feel about, you know, this seat being represented by someone who's not who's not black? I mean, would that be an unfortunate thing for
First of
Harlem?
all, you know, I've jokingly said that at my age I don't buy green bananas. We have a whole lot of work to do to repair the damage that has been done by reapportionment. And it's not just my district. It's all over the country. People who work together now find themselves in the same congressional district. So before we get involved in who's black and who's white and who's running for what, let's try to make certain that when this campaign is over, that there's no permanent damage being done politically. For those of you that are older, this place used to be a mean place for district leaders. Whether you came from the South, whether you came from the Caribbean, whether you came from Puerto Rico, it was mean, and families stopped talking with each other, and some don't even talk with each other today. We cannot afford the luxury of doing that. Yes, sir.
Congressman, what is your plan or strategy to persuade the Hispanic vote, specifically the Dominican vote, to be able to serve another term here as Congressman?
Well, I have to earn the support for those people that have never had the privilege of serving. And I guess I'll start off with saying that I can't think of any congressman from New York that has done more to facilitate the entry of newcomers into our great country. I don't want to be, I think my record speaks for itself in opening up trade with the Caribbean, especially as it relates to the Dominican Republic and building up their economy. And heck, that was my job to do, and I enjoy doing it. And so I have a record that I'm so very, very proud of, and no campaign is going to take that away.